Best Life of Wellbeing is here to normalize death, grief, end of life, love legacy, and whole life conversations that transform the way we live in the world. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lunar Living presentation. My name is Donna Marie, and before I go any further, please subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell so that you know when new episodes are available, like our content, and please comment. I definitely want to hear from you. So again, today's presentation is regarding the art of lunar living. And so I'm going to share my screen. Give me one moment. Our whole life of well-being conversation for today is the art of lunar living. It's a practice I started during the COVID-19 shutdown, and I'm going to tell you all about it. So let me go to the next slide. All right, my name is Donna Marie, Whole Life Death Doula. I'm the founder of Best Life of Wellbeing, LLC. Our mission is to normalize death, grief, end of life, love, legacy, and whole life conversations that transform the way we live in the world. The services we provide are coaching, educational services to single women of color, 45 and over, companion care, and after-death care. You might be wondering, what is a death doula? Well, death doulas provide spiritual, emotional, physical support, companion care, and a listening ear for those who are at the end of their life, who have a condition that is life-threatening. We not only provide support to the individual with the life-threatening illness, but also we support the family of that individual. Death work at its core is activism, advocacy, and community building. It's designed to change the way we view, manage, and talk about death and how we care for our dying. So you might be asking why I'm sharing this information. I will tell you, during the COVID-19 shutdown, I was forced to listen to my inner voice. And listening to my inner voice has been transformational in my life. And so I needed to share this with others, because right now we are going through so much trauma in our world, and it's so important to have inner peace and calm. And so, as I stated, my inner voice had been telling me for a very long time to be still, to shut it down and get quiet. And every time I had that urge, I went on vacation, right? Or I had something to do or something to plan. My inner voice had been telling me to take inventory of my life, to analyze my steps, and to connect deeper with the core of who I am, what I felt. And what I did feel was separated from what was going on inside of me. I felt sad inside. I even felt lost inside, because there was something that kept me from connecting to my internal peace. So even prior to the COVID-19 shutdown, I decided to just kind of try to be still. And again, I thought it was not traveling or not spending as much money or not moving as much. And yes, that was part of it. But after I did all of that, I still felt the anxiety, the fear, and I lacked internal calm. So I decided during the COVID-19 shutdown to start a meditation walk. During that meditation walk, I started noticing the moon. And when I say noticing the moon, it was as if the moon was talking to me, drawing me closer and nearer. It was a very spiritual and mysterious type of energy. And I listened. And I enjoyed what I was feeling. Though I will say the energy of the moon is gentle. The energy of the moon is dark. And so, the two quotes I have at the bottom of the slide here is: only when we are brave enough to explore the darkness will we discover the infinite power of our light. So the quote by Marianne Williamson at the very bottom, it says, our deepest fear is not that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. Though in life we don't want to talk about death, and though we don't really want to talk about our end of life and how painful that can be, and we don't want to make the plans we need to make it less painful, many of us, this quote tells us that it's not the dark we're afraid of. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frighten us. And so through the moon's energy, again, the moon's energy is very gentle. And it actually helps us to manage our anxiety, our moods, our emotion, and even our subconscious and our psyche is impacted by the moon. And so this experience for me was very healing, and that's why I am sharing it with you all today. All right, what is lunar living? Well, I just stated the moon rules over our emotions, our moods, our innate reactions, and even our subconscious mind and thoughts. Subconsciously, the things that we've suppressed, they want to come out. They want to be healed. And lunar living is the perfect way to live in order to work on that part of us that we have suppressed for whatever reason. It could have been in childhood, whatever the reason is. Those are the things that need to be healed. And those are the things that are always bubbling up around the full moon, especially for me. Lunar living is using the moon's phases as a means for checking in with yourself, for setting goals, for manifesting your best life of well-being. Lunar living helps you to manage your emotions, organize your brain, your executive function of your brain. It helps you with goal setting, and it tracks how you're using your most valuable resource, which is your time. Your time you can never get back. And in many cases, we are operating on autopilot because we are so busy, we are so driven, we have family obligations, and so on and so forth. And so we are going along with our everyday routine and not really considering and thinking about the impact our life has on others, the things we're doing in our life that may not be so beneficial to our own life. And, one thing I have started thinking about recently is how many people do I encounter and don't see? How many people do I close my eyes to? How many people do I ignore? How many conversations do I have where I've actually blocked out what someone is saying? So it helps you to focus from the inside out. It helps you to focus on creating calm from the inside out. And that's what life is really, really about. This presentation is not about worshiping the moon or astrology, though I don't worship the moon, but I do love the moon. I love the sun, and I love the moonlight. I love the energy, the feminine energy of the moon. And I do love astrology, and I use it with my practice sometimes. Defining well-being. I first want to read this Audre Lorde's quote and just point out to you that right here, this is the dictionary definition to well-being. But Audre Lorde says, if I don't define myself for myself, I will be crunched into the people's fantasies for me and eaten alive. And so that quote means a lot to me because in our life, we are influenced by so much, from childhood all the way up to adulthood. And what we learned in childhood just became a regular part of our psyche, the way we think, a regular part of our patterns and behaviors. And in many cases, we go through life and we never really question those things. And so it's so important to really define yourself for yourself, to question everything. And my definition to well-being is your ability to maintain inner calm, gratitude, connection, and meaning, internal, that guides you in whatever state you're in. It's the holistic integration of your body, your mind, and your spirit. And so that's something no one can take away from you, this transcending the everyday mind and walking in peace and understanding that your life has a bigger purpose. Lunar living can help you to tap into that and can help you to transcend your mind. All right, lunar living and end-of-life planning. What do those two things have in common? Well, both of them are practicing self-care, advocating for yourself. And as you know, when you advocate for and take care of yourself, you can, one, help someone else to advocate for you, and you can advocate for others. Taking conscious action. There's so much we do, again, on autopilot or out of obligation or because we didn't plan. We have to make decisions in a moment, in an instant. And so taking conscious action and living with intentionality, they kind of go together. It's all about transitions and letting go. And so is lunar living. Demonstrating love, not just, again, for ourselves, but for others, the environment. That's a practice, y'all. That doesn't come easily for us. It actually probably is something natural, but we have been learned, we've been taught to think totally different from who we truly are at our core. And so choosing to see, oh no, finding your natural rhythm. I don't want to skip that one. It's so important, finding your natural rhythm. In many cases, we don't know our natural rhythm because, again, just like that love is natural and a part of us, and through everything we've learned in our life, we've learned to be cynical, we've learned not to trust, we've learned not to be vulnerable. We have to unlearn that because that is how true connection happens. And finding your natural rhythm is also how true connection happens. And so choosing to see the true nature of things more clearly. Lunar Living has helped me with that so much, but also becoming a death doula has helped me. And end of life planning and lunar living kind of align there, flowing in change. Everything changes, and there are times when things change and we don't move and we get stuck. And so learning how to flow with change, how to release, how to let go, how to transition is what lunar living and end of life planning has in common. At the bottom here, this quote, it says, never be limited by other people's limited imaginations. If you adopt their attitudes, then the possibility won't exist because you have already shut it out. You can hear other people's wisdom, but you've got to reevaluate the world for yourself. I highly recommend that. And I'm sure Mae Jemison is a source that we can all feel comfortable taking advice from. All right, so here is a little calendar I created of every new moon and full moon for the year. The next full moon is on January 25th, which is Thursday. And the reason I'm doing this presentation is to provide guidance and preparation for the full moon on Thursday, January 25th. I did ask some of you, and if you saw a previous YouTube video, to reflect over your 2023. I hope that you've had the opportunity to do that and to really consider some highlights of your lives, some lessons that you've learned, to really take inventory and trace back your steps and see what you need to be doing different. Our life speaks to us, and we may not always know the exact answer in the exact moment, but we can trust that when we ask for guidance, we will receive the guidance. And so I hope that you had the opportunity to look back over your 2023 and really celebrate yourself, honor yourself, bring some lessons forward to this year from 2024. That's another way of honoring yourself. Leave some people behind, some habits behind, some of your internal dialogue, leave it behind. Whatever it is, I hope that you were able to reflect back over 2023 so you can start this full moon off with a new mindset and this new year. All right, so this is basic stuff we learned in school. The moon is the Earth's only natural satellite, right? So the moon always presents the same side to the Earth, but it orbits around the Earth. All right, so this is the full moon cycle. There are 4 major moon phases. That is the new moon, first quarter, full moon, and third quarter. As you can see from the new moon is dark. You can't usually see the new moon. You might see a little shadow of the new moon sometimes, but for the most part, the new moon is the dark phase of the moon. And then as we move closer to the full moon, the light gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so the waxing crescent has got more light, first quarter, more light, waxing gibbous, more light. So waxing means that the light is getting bigger. And then the full moon, the moon is fully illuminated. And then waning is when the light is getting smaller, it's going down. And so waning gibbous, third quarter, waxing crescent, and then the new moon. The full moon cycle is about 29.5 days, and it is 29.5 days. And this is the full lunar cycle here. All right, as you can see, there are, like I said, 4 major lunar cycles, but there are 8 moon phases. The moon is, it represents feminine energy, and it's the softer side. You know, the sun is the bright, energetic, and the moon is dark. It's really kind of like death and life. You know, the one we pay attention to the most is the one that is creating light for us. It allows us to see, it feels good. And the one at night is more subtle, and we don't give it as much attention. And again, it's just like death and life. The new moon, again, is the dark phase. It's when the moon is directly between the earth and the sun, and that's why there's dark. So the new moon is a time for harmony. It's a time for setting intentions. It's a time for getting clear. It's not just harmony within yourself and your space, but it's harmony in your neighborhood, with your colleagues, your community, and in the world. This is a time to launch new projects, start something new, and again, look back at what you've accomplished, or look back at your 2023, look at your old pictures, look at emails, look at calendars, notes that you've written in your journals. Just look back and see how far you've come. Be grateful. See how far you've come and be grateful. You may not have accomplished all you wanted to accomplish, but you are here and you learned some amazing lessons through your journey, and honor that. Please honor that. Give yourself some grace and honor that. And so again, taking inventory of your life, which means assessing and making tweaks. And all of that is something you can do during the new moon phase. So the full moon always lies on the opposite side of the sun, but the full moon is our midpoint phase. The full moon is a time of heightened emotions. It's a time for checking in with yourself. It's a time for manifesting, from the new moon to the full moon. What is it that you've accomplished? So it's assessing. And then the manifesting part at the midpoint is giving yourself the opportunity to succeed as you move back to the new moon. And then we do this every single month. The full moon and the new moon are times when I create space for myself, quiet time for myself, at least 45 minutes to an hour, to really sit with what I've been doing, what I've been thinking, how I've been managing my time, or how my time has been managing me. And then I try to really recalibrate and gain more control of my thoughts and my movements and my internal being. So living in moon time, kind of reiterating here, in order to do this moon time living thing, it's important to follow the moon phases. Do some research on your own and get an understanding of the moon phases, learn about rituals. This moon time living is also a time to track your energy. Oh my goodness, that is so important. Learning your own rhythms and tracking your energy. You can really anticipate when you need to drink a cup of tea in the morning as opposed to a cup of coffee, because you know that around a certain phase of the moon, your emotions and your energy will be heightened. The moon will have an impact on you. And so you will know what time of the month that you need to take special care of yourself. And it's different for everyone. For me, it is the full moon. Again, that lunar cycle is about transitions, and it also aligns with a woman's internal cycle is really important. But first, tracking your energy and learning your own rhythmic energy. So decide to soften. You want to breathe softer. You want to notice things. Again, think about the number of people you encounter every day that you don't see. Living in moon time is about listening to your imagination, creating new stories. Again, many of us have adopted stories from our childhood or from our past, and then share your story so that you can internalize it and it becomes real to you. So a belief is a thought that you keep thinking. And so think something different and your beliefs will change. And then pay attention to what comes through over time as you're, working with your new story and redefining yourself. Back to the Audre Lorde quote, define yourself for yourself. I'm not going to read through this whole list. I'll just go down to the last two here on this list. Sing a song to the moon and let the moon share songs with you. I can honestly tell you, I hear songs from the moon, and they're gentle and they're mysterious and they're beautiful and they're loving and they're captivating and they're special. I don't even have the words to describe the songs that I hear from the moon and the songs I sing to the moon. And this may not be something that is literal, but you will feel the calm and the softness as you start this moon time or lunar practice. It is so special to me. All right, so here are a couple rituals. We'll start with a new moon ritual. And so this new moon ritual, the time you'll need to devote is 30 to 60 minutes. Here, what you'll need is a notebook, a small glass of water. Make sure you're diffusing your essential oils. If you're into that like me, have a white candle or any color candle is fine. And a pen and some of your own music. The water, the small glass of water, you can charge your water to make moon water. So what I do is put my water in a mason jar, and then I sit that mason jar either outside or on a windowsill or somewhere under the moon so that the energy from the moon can charge my water. Then I sit down, I light my candle, diffusing my oils. If you use crystals, use your crystals. And then honor the moon with prayer. Again, this is not about worshiping the moon, but I give thanks for the moon. I am so grateful that we have a moon and that we have a sun and that we have a solar system. I'm so grateful for our planet and the oxygen and everything on this planet that has been designed for me and you so that we live in harmony with everything that is. After that prayer, it's worthy of some praise. And so we dance and we stretch our bodies. And, you know, when we stretch our bodies and move our bodies, energy is moving around, pain is moving out, stiffness is moving out, blood is flowing, oxygen is moving around in our body, and it really helps our moods. And so movement and dance and stretching is very important in a ritual, but it doesn't have to be anything really strenuous. Make it fun, make it light. Remember, this is the moon we're talking about, and that's very gentle, feminine energy. Then sit quietly, again, in prayer or in silence. And prayer can be with your mouth closed and your eyes closed. Prayer can be with your eyes open as you're staring at one thing and just focusing on that one thing. Meditation is really about calming your mind and your internal body systems. It's really about settling your amygdala and your limbic system of your brain. Once the meditation has ended, spend some time writing about what you have felt. During the new moon, again, write your intentions and keep writing after you've written your intentions and just see where the journal writings take you. You'll be surprised sometimes by what comes out as you're journaling. So monitor yourself again from one new moon to the next new moon. The full moon ritual time is about the same. I will say if you don't have 30 or 60 minutes, do whatever you can. It's really important though to sit in quiet, in a peaceful place, in a clean place, and just reflect over gratitude, what you're thankful for, the near misses in life, whatever it is. And if you're hurting and grieving, allow yourself to feel the hurt and the grief. Allow yourself to process it. Allow yourself to go deep with it. Again, remember, it is not our darkness, it's our light that most frightens us. Don't be afraid of the dark. The dark is the path, in many cases, to the light. We'll also say that dark and light are hand in hand, just like death and life go hand in hand. There is no escaping them. They are intertwined. They are part of everything. And then at the end of this journal writing, get you a hot bath with some bath salts, some oil, a candle, and massage your own body. You know, work out those aches and tight muscles and massage your own body, your legs, your temple, back of your head. You can even do some tapping while you're in the tub. Pamper yourself with a bath, a nice bath. And don't forget to drink your moon water. Well, that concludes my presentation on lunar living. I hope that this presentation is beneficial to you. Recognize that this life is not about just us. This life is about all of us and each of us doing our part in creating more love in the world, and that starts from within. I'd love to hear from you. If you incorporate a lunar lifestyle, tell me how it's going for you. If you already meditate, share how meditation has helped your life. If you've done your 2023 year in review, share some of the lessons that you've learned. Namaste.